Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Friday, 11th October 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. The United States need to do more to control illegal firearms export. When we come back, we will tell you which regional leader said this after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Governments of the region must insist that the United States does more to stem the proliferation of guns in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean. This view was expressed by Premier Mark Brantley of the Nevis Island Administration when he made remarks at the 4th October edition of the National Consultation on Crime and Violence held in Charlestown. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
Brantley said that the vast majority of gun crimes involve weapons that were made in the United States.
And I believe for far too long the United States has been given a pass. The U.S. has become the main source of weapons, handguns in our region. And I believe that more needs to be said and more needs to be done by us as a Caribbean region to say to our brother and friend, the United States, that whatever your views may be on guns and your right to carry guns and your right to own guns, that your guns and the freedom that you express through owning and carrying is having an effect on our societies. Too many guns are making their way into our region, and I believe that law enforcement will agree that those weapons are largely, in large measure, coming from the United States of America. And so I'm happy that USAID is involved, because as USAID looks at our gang problem, USAID must also look at what the United States is doing to contribute to that problem that we're having. You know, there may have been gangs from time immemorial, but if all the gangs could do is throw stones and bottles, the homicide rate would be a lot lower. But the fact that the gangs have access to weapons and more high-powered weapons, it tells me, therefore, that we need also to look at some strategy that puts more pressure on the United States to control the flow of weapons into our region.
As a CARICOM region, Brantley said, we need that kind of foreign policy initiative because all the countries are experiencing the same problems, especially in relation to gun violence. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
St. Lucia's Acting Police Commissioner Vern Gard has announced his intention to launch new inquiries into two separate cases of illegal extrajudicial killings, that of Reginald Jean and the Vieux-Fort 5. Additional evidence has warranted the investigations to be reopened, according to Acting Commissioner. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
During his first press conference last month, Acting Police Commissioner Vern Gard committed to addressing the pending cases related to the police offensive Operation Restore Confidence. At the press conference on Wednesday, he revealed that he recently met with the Director of Prosecutions, Dasrin Green, as well as the lead investigator on these cases to discuss the matters. The acting commissioner disclosed that due to additional evidence, a decision has been taken to reopen investigations into two of the pending cases. One is the case of Reginald Jean, who was shot and killed by police on February 28, 2011 at Marsham. The other is a fatal police shooting on May 5, 2011 in Vieux-Fort of Kevin Ferdinand, Rosarius Marquis, John Baptiste McFarlane, Michel Cadet, and Alan Louisi, dubbed the Vieux-Fort 5.
There's additional evidence we might have accrued, and although these matters had already gone through an inquest, but it is my intention to liaise with the Office of the Attorney General to reopen the matter in the level of an inquest after I receive the formal file on the 14th.
The development in these cases was unexpected and has raised questions about when they will be resolved. In a press conference last June, the DPP disclosed that there is enough evidence to arrest the officers implicated in both cases. He also mentioned that he had recommended reckless manslaughter charges for both cases to the former police commissioner, Cressida Descatpelius, seemingly blaming the slow pace of resolution of these cases on the police.
I can assure you that I have discussed this evidence with the Commissioner of Police, and I have provided her with my findings.
The former commissioner, who held a press conference 3 days before her departure on August 31st, however, defended the RSLPF, stating she had not received the DPP's recommendations in formal writing.
It would not be responsible for me to act on statements made during the press conference, or radio, or social media, or informal discussions. It is crucial that any actions I take are based on formal written directives.
The acting police commissioner has indicated that he will provide the media with more details on the new direction the police are taking with the two outstanding matters after he receives the formal files next Monday. For the DBS News World, I am Zin Romulus.
The Dominican Republic has begun a program of mass deportation of Haitians. Sarah Murphy of ABC News Australia reports.
Forced to leave. The Dominican Republic has deported 11,000 Haitians in the past week and pledged to do so each week.
We have been informed that the police are the ones carrying out the operations. It is a kind of persecution against black people and against all those who are presumed to be Haitians.
But there are fears for those returning home. Just last week, at least 70 people were killed in a gang attack in Pont Sunday, north of the capital. Thousands fled the town and are yet to return.
Those bandits came and hid inside the factory and shot at the people passing by. But it is the state that is responsible. If they had sent armed tanks to secure the population, they would not have died like this. It is the state's fault.
Haitian officials have been left scrambling by the deportations, requesting an emergency meeting at the Organization of American States. The Haitian representative reporting violations of human rights against Haitian citizens in the Dominican Republic.
This policy of deportation is what it really is, a campaign of discrimination based on nationality and skin color.
The Dominican Republic has denied any human rights violations. A week before announcing the deportations, its president warned about the worsening situation.
The
crisis in Haiti warrants particular attention. More than 3 years of instability in our neighbouring country has put significant pressure on our own security.
There's uncertainty at the leadership level in Haiti too, following the transfer of the rotating presidency to architect Leslie Voltaire.
Under my presidency, the Transitional Presidential Council will consolidate its achievements and its structures to work with more transparency and efficiency.
But outgoing President Edgar Leblanc-Fils has refused to sign a decree ratifying the move. He says corruption accusations against 3 other voting members of the council are still unresolved. While in Pont Sunday, the funerals of victims of last week's gang massacre continue. Sarah Murphy, ABC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
An anti-bullying campaign in Trinidad and Tobago is set to be rolled out in the south of Trinidad in the aftermath of the death of Jaden Lalchan. CNC3's Ryan Bechu has more.
The suicide of 15-year-old Jaden Lalchan as a result of bullying continues to garner national attention, leading Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Meister to visit the Princestown family on Monday. Jaden's aunt, Radhika Ramjan, alleged neglect and irresponsibility on the part of staff at the school. But as the country roils over Jaden's death, Education Minister Dr. Nian Gadsby-Dolly told Guardian Media there is no evidence to suggest Jaden endured years of sustained bullying, and no reports were made to both the school nor the ministry. And with pictures of an alleged perpetrator now circulating online, she warned adults should be more responsible. At the same time, Meister confirmed he spoke to the lead investigator, giving him guidelines. The principal, teachers, and students at St. Stephen's College will all be interviewed. A file will then be sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions for his advice. But Meister also revealed an anti-bullying campaign will be established in South.
Persons may still think that bullying is not an offense, but it is a criminal offense, and it's going to bring education for the students and the teachers and so on, so that they can report these incidents. Again, we are taking a zero tolerance approach as it relates to bullying.
In Parliament, Mayaro MP Rushton Parry, a St. Stephen College alumnus, urged greater protection for the nation's children.
Jaden was a bright, promising student, and his untimely death, allegedly stemming from the horrendous act of bullying, reminds us of the urgent need to protect our children and create environments where they feel safe, valued, and supported.
Meanwhile, Tabaquite MP Anita Haynes-Allen called for safe spaces in schools for students seeking refuge from bullying. Meanwhile, former director of the National Operations Center, Gavin Hira, says failure to act on bullying can have long-term consequences for national security. Meister says the investigation could wrap up soon as the nation watches and waits on its outcome.
The courts of Guyana are expected to have the final say if President Irfan Ali appoints Clifton Hicken as the substantive commissioner of police, with legal action looming. The opposition leader has already engaged attorneys on the matter. More details in this HGP Travis Chase report.
Legal action will be filed in Guyana's High Court if President Irfan Ali appoints Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken to the substantive position just before Mr. Hicken proceeds on his retirement. That's the position by opposition leader Aubrey Norton. The opposition leader says his attorneys have already been approached on the matter.
There is a legal option that is open that we will possibly look at. I think we will continue to sensitize the people of Guyana as it relates to the incompetence of the acting commissioner.
Last week, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Gail Teixeira informed Mr. Norton via letter that President Irfan Ali has concluded that it is in the public's interest and in the interest of national security that Mr. Hicken be appointed Commissioner of Police. The opposition leader, though, says the courts will have the final say.
The government clearly wants to promote incompetence. The government clearly wants to and continues to condone corruption. And we will have to look at the other options to deal with the government on this issue.
Mr. Norton contends that Mr. Hicken is widely viewed as a politician rather than a police, flexing his muscles allegedly to protect People's Progressive Party civic politicians.
And let me just remind you that Vice President Barra Jack Bill has been accused of bribery and corruption, and the police force could not investigate. Let me remind you that there were serious allegations against Dharam Lal, and the police force could not investigate and enforce the law.
The recent investigation launched by the Special Organized Crime Unit into financial irregularities in the Guyana Police Force warrants Mr. Hicken to be sent packing, according to the opposition leader.
But I think because the president, like the Guyana Police Force, are all embroiled in corruption, they are committed to protecting each other. And so I believe it is in that context he arrived at that illogical conclusion that the Guyana Police Force is performing well and that there is respect and confidence in the Guyana Police Force.
However, President Irfan Ali, through his parliamentary minister, believes that under the superintendence of Mr. Hicken, the Ghana Police Force has achieved a lot, including a decrease in serious crimes and improved public confidence in the force. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.